Welcome back to the 7am podcast. I'm your host, Sean Mangiani, here with recent 7am MVP, Hayden Suslow.
What's up, 7M family? It's good to be back. Just took home, got the trophy right here. Back to back championships. Good to be back on the podcast.
And we're also with the man in the middle, JDP, Joe Del Barro.
What's the word, 7am family?
Now, real quick, before we start, I want to talk about a quick word for our sponsors. 7am podcast is sponsored by NBA Top Shot. As we move into a world filled with modern technology, there have been advancements in the collecting of sports memorabilia. NBA Top Shot is an NFT marketplace where fans can buy, sell, and trade NBA moments. Start your collection with a free Kevin Durant NFT today by visiting NBATopShot.com. Top Shot, the future of NBA memorabilia. So, thank you to our sponsors.
Thank you.
Coach Fu, me, and Hayden have really been working hard to get that sponsor, so we finally got that. Let's talk about our recent 7am news. So, since the signing of Coach Hector Fu, we have gone 7-0. We've won 2 tournaments, and we played this weekend at the Jump in Torrance, California. It was about an 87-degree gym. We played 5 games. We went 5-0, including beating Team Why Not 14 and 15U.
Twice.
And I'm 17. We're all 17 years old. So, pretty successful weekend. What do you guys think?
It was a really good weekend. It was great to get all the OG 7am members back. Really felt like that 7am family, what we always talk about. And, the team chemistry was unbelievable. Coach Hector Fu, I mean, the job he's done is just unbelievable. I hope, we're a small market team, so hopefully we can keep him away from that Lakers opening, which we may get into. But yeah, I mean, just what a wonderful weekend, for the community, for the whole family. This was for you guys, 7am family, this weekend.
And, speaking of the chemistry we had in the court, there was about 25 different lobs we had. I missed about 7 lob layups, but the amount of lob attempts that we were able to put up really just spoke to, the 7am family and the culture, what we want to do for the fans. Bella Spencer's out there. She's on the cameras. She's flicking up the highlights. And, 7. So with that being said.
Wait, and Sean,
do you have any words?
Quick one before Joe goes. Just want to give a shout out to our former co-host, Noah Glazer. Whenever you watch this, we miss you. We won that one for you. That was for Noah.
That was for you, Glazer.
We
look forward to more TikToks. We lost a lot of clout this weekend, but we leveled up. So Noah, when you're back, we'll be screwing, as they say in the 7. So the first topic of conversation we have
let me
today.
go speak on the lobs really quick. All right. I mean, like Hayden said, Coach Hector Fu, straight 180, has turned the culture around. I think right now our name should be 7am Showtime. Showtime 7am, baby.
I like that.
Very exciting out there, playing high-paced basketball. Defense is looking solid. Half-court offense needs some help, but I think our biggest threat right now, people are saying Chris Spencer. I think Anthony Robin is our biggest lob threat. And I think his skills are going very unnoticed.
Under the radar guy that we got on a veterans minimum contract, just our scouting department's unbelievable, led by Sean Mangiani and the crew, they do an unbelievable job. We took down Team Why Not, Nike sponsored team twice this weekend. Took out a lot of other really good teams. And if any of you guys, any of our viewers want to play us, bro, we'll play anybody. Just send us your schedules. We're not running from anybody. So let us know if you want to play us.
They have the EYBL logo too. EYBL logo on their jersey.
And just going into my work as a scout, I've been out here at the local parks scouting 5, 6, 7-year-olds. I'm like Sam Pressett. We have a lot of draft picks. We're a small market team. We started off slow. We traded a lot of players. We traded Shakir. We traded Barron. So we have a lot of draft capital, but we're just going up. Tony weighing in at 5'4", 185, was averaging 4.3 points a game this weekend. I mean, there's nothing more you can wish for. Now, looking into 7am news upcoming, this Thursday, the 7am sleepover, the team sleepover will be occurring and then also the 7 a.m. scab. So keep your eyes peeled, ears peeled, lips peeled, 7 a.m. scab. And then this weekend we have the 1-day tournament.
The
So, you
shootout.
know, it's a shootout, and
Mhm.
I'm a shooter, and so is Hayden, and so is Joe. Now, hey, enough with this funny business. Let's
Let's get
take
to
what
business.
Hector Fu has taught us, and let's
Mhm.
get to business. Okay, job not finished. First topic of conversation today is March Madness. So if Hayden, you can share your screen and show us what went down. Starting off in the West. So let's just talk about the biggest surprises. Okay, so right off the books for me, I mean, I had New Mexico State beating UConn, but I mean, that was an upset. I think that Notre Dame beating Alabama is a really underrated upset. So I think those were the biggest two that came in the round of 64 to me. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, New Mexico State, obviously, I believe Timmy Allen was his name. I think he dropped 37 on UConn. I didn't see that one coming. Also, I didn't see Memphis beating Boise State. A lot of good games in this region. Georgia State kept it close against Gonzaga. Vermont kept it close. And yeah, I was surprised, honestly, by the Michigan State Davidson. I thought Davidson would beat Michigan State, upset Duke, led by Hung Jung Lee. But yeah, I mean, not a ton of surprises here. Joe, what are your thoughts on this region?
Yeah, I also was very upset that Davidson lost. I was very high on Hung Jung Lee. I thought he was the next big thing, gonna put on for the Asian community. And
Yeah,
honestly,
just to interject real quick, all three of us being Asian or somewhat
Okay.
Asian, we really support all of the Asian community. So Hung Jun Lee, prayers go out to you. Hope you're back for next year.
yeah, but I just wanted to say that Asian representation was very sad this year. Our boy Johnny Juzang did not put on for the people.
No.
Isaiah Wong did put on for the people, but he's like 5% Asian. I don't even know if he's Asian.
Nah, but he caught a body, so we chilling. We chilling.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
And then I remember was there an Asian dude on Georgia State?
Yes, there was.
Yeah, that dude was sorry as fuck. Pulled up in the BS black t-shirt. What the fuck was that? Big disappointment. That fool sucked.
And for all the viewers out there, especially Jake or whatever your name was for last weekend, we apologize for the language. We try to keep this a PG podcast, but some of us are a little out of hand.
Yeah, and
So-
some of us just get, we're passionate too. And I know that was a touchy subject for Joe, but Joe, we respect you coming on as the first time guest, just laying it out there. And that's why we brought him on. We knew he'd bring that fire to our podcast, which we needed.
And so we see, out of the West, Duke made the Final Four. No surprise there. I mean, our own beloved Coach K, really did his best. And, he couldn't come on top victorious, but let's get to the East.
Yeah.
So you could scroll down to the East.
Let's go to the East.
My biggest surprises were seeing Baylor. I had this in my bracket, UNC bouncing Baylor, but just to see it come to life, and then UNC to go on and win it. And then also like St. Peter's, like we played against Doug this weekend, and he is really good. So the fact that he beat Kentucky, St. Mary's, and then Purdue was insane to me.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the big story here was St. Peter's, obviously that crazy Cinderella run. Doug Edwards stealing all the headlines, and he just transferred to Bryant, which was kind of strange.
I think that's a downgrade, by the way. I think he got worse.
Like a
than
really big
Yeah.
downgrade.
Not sure why he did that, but respect to Doug. He had a legendary run. That North Carolina Baylor game, may have been the most entertaining game of the tournament. I'd say this year there were less crazy finishes and endings than we're used to, but this game was wild. North Carolina blowing a 25-point lead, but then winning in overtime. And then, obviously they went to the Final Four, made to the championship game. And I think I had them beating Baylor, but I don't think anybody had them going that far. But I did have Purdue winning it all. And Zach Edey, another Asian right there on Purdue.
Oh yeah,
The beast. And Jaden Ivey, I thought they were going to get it done this year, but St. Peter's was just too much for Purdue.
Yeah, I agree.
And
Also, shout out Shaheen Holloway.
Right, got the Seton Hall job. Well
Got the
deserved.
Seton Hall job. Got to go to his alumni. Very exciting. I thought a big disappointment for me was Virginia Tech. There was a lot of hype coming from their tournament games, and
On golf.
man, did they disappoint? Did they disappoint? Come on.
That's true.
You know, just going back to Doug's transfer, I mean, like he was literally at St. Peter's. Like you can't go that further down, but he did.
Yeah,
Sucks for him. Let's go to the South.
let's do it.
So, I mean, in the South, biggest story here is Arizona getting their shit rocked by Houston.
Hmm.
Also, you know, underrated losses underrated wins. Like Michigan State went far, and like
Mhm.
Kofi Cockburn. I mean, I thought that guy was like huge, big, girthy, but I mean, he lost
Very girthy.
round of 32. So, and then Tennessee. That's my biggest thing. Tennessee and Longwood. They beat Longwood, but they lost to Michigan, man.
Yeah, Tennessee, I think that was like a trendy sleeper pick to win it all this year. Kennedy Chandler, the freshman guard, they're really, really good player, and they had solid depth, and they were a veteran team. But yeah, I was surprised that Michigan went as far as they did, just given their season. I was also surprised Loyola Chicago. I think most people had them winning, and they may have been like the worst team in the entire tournament from what I saw. And Illinois was also much worse than expected. They should have lost to Chattanooga. Houston just beat up on them. And then also Arizona was probably the most popular pick to win it all with Gonzaga. And I mean, they almost lost to TCU. Like that game went to overtime. Call at the end of regulation could have gone either way. And Benedict Mathurin is a beast, and so is Christian Coloco. But yeah, they were definitely a big time disappointment. And Villanova was nowhere near the most talented team, even in this region. But they played the right way. They pump fake, they 2 feet. It's 7 a.m. It reminds me of 7 a.m. basketball, the way Villanova plays. Play the game the right way. And Jay Wright's a fantastic coach. That's why I made the Final Four.
It really does. And now it's time for our favorite segment of the show, Sean's hot take. So my hot take comes from the South region with relation to Michigan and the recent events. Hot take, Juwan Howard and Will Smith are the same person. I mean, let's look at what happened. They look very similar, and they both like smacking people. So what do you guys think?
They are, what's it called? Face merging. You know those apps that combine faces together and
Oh,
personalities? I think they're the same person.
Exactly, dude. I mean, this is a big hot take for me, but I don't think it's that hot. I don't think it's that hot.
Yeah,
I mean,
I see the similarities there, and I'm very surprised. I saw Juwan Howard's name coming up in Lakers head coaching potential, that vacancy. I'd be shocked if that were the case if he got that job. I don't think he'd last very long. I think that's an Urban Meyer like hire right there. So I hope
this is where you don't understand. He's the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. They're the same person. I think it's a match made in heaven.
I think he lasts less than a year. I said the same thing with Urban Meyer when he got hired in Jacksonville. I don't know if you two as Laker fans would like to see that or not, but as a non-Laker fan, I don't think that would be a good match.
Speaking of lasting long, Joe, how long do you typically last?
I mean, honestly, I can go the rounds, maybe the first couple, I don't last that long. Maybe give me like a straight 8 minutes. Being generous, 8, maybe sometimes 5. You feel, but once we get into the later rounds, 3 or 4, that's when I get my game time on. That's where Joe time shows. That's where Joe time shows.
I already talked about the brewing of that.
Yeah, the brewing. But I just have a question. What are your guys' thoughts on Jimmy Soto? Do you think he performed in March Madness?
Sean, you take this one.
Nah, you got it.
I mean, this guy Jimmy Soto's, I don't know what the deal. I know he's a TikTok guy. I saw him dancing a little bit on the bench. I didn't really see him go into the games, but I think he performed up to my expectations. I don't know about you, Sean.
He reminded me of our old players.
I mean, look, he's a certified bum. He cannot play the game of basketball. He's like Kwame Brown. He cannot play. All right. So, I mean, he sat his ass on the bench and got his
Where it
shirt off by
belongs.
Villanova. Okay. So
All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the
down to the Midwest. And
the Midwest.
let's talk about a few things. First off, I had Iowa in my Final Four. Richmond said, "We're rich, you're poor." I'm
Mhm.
spitting bars right now, but
The Spiders.
Iowa lost. Also, we're looking at one of the trends we had in this March Madness and last year is it's a trend. It's discovered by Sean Benjani, and it is the following. So last year, when a 2 seed played a 15 seed, Oral Roberts happened to beat Ohio State. Now this year, when a 2 seed beat a 15 seed, it was the St. Peter's Peacocks. And so we found this trend and we figured that, since Longwood was a 14 seed and Tennessee was a 3 seed, they lost. But the Jacksonville State Gamecocks really messed up the system. A 2 versus 15, they lost. So, I mean, the system's 2 for 3.
Yeah.
But what we discovered is that if Longwood has a off year next year, I'm mortgaging the house, hammering Longwood money line. But back to this, I mean,
Like that.
Miami making it to the Elite Eight. Wong is out there posterizing Jabari Smith, standing up for that Asian community.
Mhm.
But I mean, it wasn't too. Other than that, it wasn't too, surprising. Once he always prevails. When you look like Sean Benjani, when your name's Remy Martin, like you're going places. You're going places.
Yeah, I mean, this region, Kansas came out of here. They took care of business. But besides that, yeah, Miami, Iowa State, that was definitely an interesting Sweet 16 game. Miami, their guard heavy lineup, led by Wong, really caused problems for Auburn. And I was really disappointed by Wisconsin. They had the biggest home court advantage in the entire tournament. They got to play in Milwaukee. The games were packed with Wisconsin fans, and they barely got past Colgate. And they lost to an Iowa State team that went 2-25, I think, last year. Obviously had a good year, made Sweet 16, but that was a bad loss for them. And then Richmond, I know, messed up a lot of brackets. I don't remember their guard's name, but they had a really good point guard who went off against Iowa. And I was also expecting South Dakota State to beat Providence, but didn't happen. Providence was solid too.
Sean, being a USC fan, I mean, how disappointed are you in Coach Andy and the whole squad, Isaiah Mobley and Drew Peterson?
I mean, what this college application process has taught me is that Miami and USC are my 1 and 2. And so I wasn't particularly too upset with the loss. However, given that USC sports are my most loyal sport, I'm pretty pissed off, man. I mean, such a winnable game. Drew Peterson could have hit that shot, to win the game. He didn't. But, I think it's time to transition a little bit to the Final Four and the end of this matchup because, due to time constraints and also we have to fit in our other sponsor. So, I mean, just to get this out of the way, Duke UNC, classic matchup. First time the two had met in the tournament and UNC prevailed. So, Coach K, they said, sit the fuck down. And, UNC moved on. Villanova loses to Kansas badly. I mean, absolute beatdown. And then this game, Kansas UNC, I think was a classic. Came down to the wire. Armando Bacot got injured at the end of the game. And I think that was, the biggest factor. But what do you guys think of the outcome? We'll start with Joe.
I was just wondering, what's everyone's thoughts on the fucked up floor? Oh, my bad. The messed up floorboard. I've been hearing a lot of conspiracy theories, and do you think UNC could have won if Armando Bacot did not receive that second ankle injury?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, that definitely changed the game. That last shot where McCormick had a little hook shot over Manic. I mean, if Bacot's in the game, I don't know if that happens or not.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, the floor obviously play at NFL Stadium, so it's like a makeshift floor. Maybe that played a factor in the injuries. But I mean, that's all conspiracy theories at this point. I think at the end of the day, Kansas was the best team in the Final Four. I think they deserved to win, and they did. The North Carolina Duke game obviously was a classic, and so was the championship game. Yeah, Kansas was just really solid with Abaji, McCormick, Remy Martin, six man was a beast. I mean, Lightfoot was an absolute bona fide scrub. Like, so, but they overcame having Lightfoot on the team. Christian Brown was solid. And yeah, I mean, they handled Villanova easily in a game where Villanova didn't even play that badly. Just Kansas was too much. They were the best team in the tournament, and the best team won.
So that's the recap on March Madness. And as we transition to our next topic, we have another word from another one of our sponsors, Prime Hydration. Our other sponsor, Prime Hydration, is a new hydrating sports drink created by Logan Paul and KSI. Prime is made with 10% coconut water, BCAAs, and electrolytes. Try Prime now at your local Walmart or Target retailers and use code 7am for 20% off. Drink Prime.
Use the code.
Now let's get into the NBA play-in and then on to the rest of the playoffs. With the play-in, we got tomorrow the Cavs and the Nets, and then the Clippers and the Timberwolves. What are your guys' predictions?
You know, I think this Clippers Timberwolves game, this is an intriguing one to me because obviously Paul George has been out most of the season, but he's back now, and the Clippers have been playing well recently. But I really like the Timberwolves. I really like them with Karl-Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards, D'Angelo Russell. They got Malik Beasley, Pat Bev. Like, I like Timberwolves a lot. So I got the Timberwolves winning that one. And then for the Nets Cavaliers, I think it's a blowout. I think Nets win 20 plus points. I think the Cavaliers were a little fraudulent this year. They kind of tailed off the end of the year. They have really good young core. Darius Garland is a beast. So is Jared Allen, Evan Mobley. But I think the Nets win that one pretty handily.
And Jared Allen will be missing tomorrow's game, so that's a key factor to watch.
That's
Now,
true.
I think all four of these teams will end up making the playoffs, either winning in the first or second play-in game. But I mean, I got the Nets, winning this first game versus the Cavs. I think, KD and Kyrie just like go into go mode. I think they go off this game. KD's almost averaging 37 and 6. And then in the Clippers Timberwolves game, I hate the Clippers. I'm a big time Lakers fan, but I mean, they are a scary team. Reggie Jackson played phenomenal this year. Then they got Norman Powell. They have Covington dropping 40. They have Amir Coffey with like multiple 35-point games. Last night he had 35, 13, and 5. And then you bring back Paul George, and then Kawhi Leonard is rumored to be back in 2 weeks. So, I mean, if the Clippers can win this game and then somehow win the first series, which I don't think is going to happen, they would have Kawhi back. And I mean, that's a scary team. But I mean, I think the Timberwolves look really good. Anthony Edwards can jump out the gym. And I'll pass it to you, Joe.
I couldn't agree with you more about the Nets game. I think the Nets just absolutely just go ham. I think K Love is going to hold it down, but those knees, man, those knees. I think KD just absolutely torches them. And I don't think Darius or anyone on the Cavs can guard Kyrie. And then this Clippers Timberwolves game, I think the Black Air Force energy of Pat Bev.
Revenge game.
It's gonna be a little too much for Ty Lue and the Clippers to handle. And I think the Timberwolves just absolutely go crazy.
Yeah. And before we get on to the next game, I just want to mention that Anthony Edwards is the fake Ant. Anthony Simons is the real Ant, and he will have a better career than Anthony Edwards. But
I
heard he's the worst defender in the league.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one.
Actually,
Anthony Simons is the worst defender.
That's actually not true. That gets my next point in this Hawks Hornets game, where Trae Young will drop 50 points because the Hornets are one of the worst defensive teams in the league. LaMelo Ball and Terry Rozier are the worst defensive backcourt in the NBA. Trae Young will drop 50. Hawks win that one. And then in the Spurs-Pelicans game, I got the Spurs winning because of DeJounte Murray. I just think he's so good, so versatile. I don't really like the Pelicans that much. I think they're like okay, but I think DeJounte Murray will prevail for the Spurs.
Just with my takes real quick, I would love to pick the Spurs, but watching my Lakers play the Pelicans and just having CJ McCollum look like prime Jordan is really scary. So I mean, BI can light it up, CJ can light it up. They got Larry Nance, they got Byron Murphy who dropped like 40 on us for no reason. So I mean, Or what is it? Trey Murphy? I don't even know his
Yeah.
name, but the dude's
Trey-
fucking
Trey-
nuts.
Trey-
All
Trey
right.
Murphy the
Trey,
third.
All right.
Trey Murphy.
Trey Murphy the third. All right. And then, Zion, he might have a bodysuit on like Harden. Who knows? I mean, this dude's gonna come out here. I mean, I think the Pelicans win this one. Hawks, Hornets. I mean, the Hornets just cannot guard the ball. It's plain and simple.
That's
It's
what I'm saying.
blasphemous how they don't have a defender. They trade for Montrez, which just does not help them. Mason Plumlee is a bona fide scrub.
Mm.
I think it's gonna be a fun matchup. Hayden, it's interesting that you have Trey Young dropping 50 despite your diehard Knicks.
No, here's
Yeah.
the thing. I'm a diehard Knicks fan, and Trey Young before that was one of my favorite players in the league. Now he's one of my least favorite players in the league. But
I do remember
even though I
that.
hate him, I respect Trey Young. I respect his game. He's a bucket. He's gonna drop 50. But yeah, Knicks next year, watch out. I think Donovan Mitchell is a prime target for the Knicks to get this offseason.
Mhm.
And Zion.
Yeah.
All right, Joe. What do you think of these games?
I think the Hornets game, it's going to be a shootout. I agree with Hayden. I don't know about a 50 piece, but I do think that Trey Young will go crazy. And I do think that the Hornets will meet their ultimate demise. They're gonna get eaten up. Spurs Pelicans, I liked what you were saying, Sean. It kind of shifted my opinion. The Pelicans did look very good against a full Lakers squad with both AD, LeBron, and Russell. And I saw Zion. He was looking a little big and he had a bucket hat on, but I think he could come back. And I think what you were talking about with CJ McCollum, I think a great comparison is Hayden Susslow. I don't know about prime Michael Jordan. I think Hayden Susslow might be a little bit higher up there. He knows his spots. He knows how to get there. He can create for himself. He can dish it out.
I mean, he runs Campbell amazing too.
Yeah, he can run Campbell very well. I
Shout
just
out Coach
think that
Phil.
I think that CJ McCollum has based this game off a great player. So I think the Pelicans will win.
I appreciate the comparison, Joe, even though CJ is one of my least favorite players in the NBA, but
Yeah.
I'll take that comparison.
And then let's get into the actual NBA playoffs. We do not have that much time because Zoom is terrible. But before we start, I just want to say, Hayden and I, as NBA card collectors, my top picks for this offseason, Anthony Simons and Kevin Porter Jr.
Book it right there.
KPJ will be worthless this offseason. He's had like 10 30-point games
In a
string
row.
them together, and then a sleeper pick. Seeing what Obi Toppin did this week, dude.
Yep,
Mhm.
I mean, that dude looked so good. He looked so good.
that's right. I like that.
I
right,
think,
so-
I think I have one more pick for this, a sleeper card to invest in this offseason.
Go ahead.
Do
I'm
you know,
thinking
Carl?
Alperen's Sangoon is the future of the league. I've seen the stuff he's been doing as a rookie center, and while he's not
Averaging
at-
9, 5, and 2.
chill out. He just has a way with balls, man. He just knows how to get to his spots. He's crafty. I think that he's gonna have an amazing next 3 years.
Yeah, everyone on the podcast should know I've been an Anthony Simons day one supporter. Even when people were hating on him and saying he's a bust and everything, I stuck with him. He showed out this year, would have been the most improved player had the Blazers not completely tanked and sat him out the rest of the year. Anthony Simons will be an all-star next year.
Mhm.
Then speaking of players we're early on, Wander Franco, that's my guy. Starts the season off with 4 games, 3-hit games. The dude's amazing. He absolutely rakes. So, we don't have that much time. So let's just go to this. Who do you have coming out of the East? Who do you have coming out of the West? And who's the second closest team to getting there? And then who do you think is gonna win it all? So starting with the East for me, it's really unfortunate that the Celtics have to play the Nets because the Celtics look so good this whole year. Without Time Lord, they're not as good. But I mean, Tatum's a beast, bro. Tatum is Kobe. Tatum and Booker are the next Kobe's. But I mean, I could really see the Bucks and the Sixers making the Eastern Conference Finals if Harden turns it up. And I got the Bucks going back to the finals again. And then as for the West, I have Suns and Warriors in the Western Conference Finals. And I mean, I just think that's a toss-up. Whoever wins wins. I mean, I just want to see. I want to see Suns and Bucks again. And honestly, now that the Lakers are out, I mean, I just want one of Debo, Chris Paul, or Giannis to win a ring, or Luca. But I mean, that's what would make me happy. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean,
Always
obviously,
fun.
I think the Suns are the team to beat. They've been the best team in the NBA all year. D Book's one of my favorite players, and I think they are the favorites. But we should watch out for the Mavericks. You know, they play the Jazz first round. There's a lot of like weird stuff going on in Utah. It seems
Luca
like
just strained his calf.
Luca did strain his calf, but I feel like he's gonna play. I don't. That's just like a gut feeling. I don't know anything for sure, but I feel like Luca's gonna play. And like Luca in the playoffs, we've seen the past couple years, like he's different. In the playoffs, he can score. He can average 40. Like he's that good. He's been playing even better without Porzingis. Like just watch out for the Mavericks against the Jazz. But I like your Suns Warriors pick. I think I'll go Suns Grizzlies though, because my MVP is Ja Morant. That's
Even though the Grizzlies are 20-3 without him,
I
Yeah,
think
most
Desmond Bain
valuable
also,
player,
also
most valuable player
no, Sean.
means value to your team.
It's a culture thing. Ja Morant has completely changed the culture in Memphis. First year there, they're one of the worst, or the first before he gets there, one of the worst teams in the league. First year there, they're supposed to be the worst team in the league. They nearly make the playoffs. Last year, they make the playoffs. This year, they're the 2 seed, second best record in the NBA. Who did you think they were going to be a top 10 team in the NBA this year? No.
Nope.
Exactly. Ja Morant's the best player on that team. Is the most exciting player to watch in the NBA.
Mhm.
He missed a good amount of games, which I mean, he's not going to win MVP. And that definitely hurts his case. But anyways, I got Grizzlies, Suns. I got Suns coming out of the West. And in the East, I like the Celtics a lot too, but that Time Lord injury is just, that's devastating to me. I mean,
Wasn't very timely. Not very timely.
not timely at all. I got Celtics losing first round to the Nets, if I'm being honest. But I got the
So
Nets.
who you got in the finals?
I got Bucks, 76ers. So I have the same thing as you. But I got the 76ers coming out. I think Harden and Embiid is going to be an unstoppable duo. What does worry me is they play Raptors first round. Matisse Thybulle, I don't think he's going to play because of vaccine stuff. And I got 76ers Suns finals. I got the Suns winning it all, making up for last year.
And Joe, we have just about a minute for you, so let's hear it.
I got Heat versus Sixers. I think that the Sixers.
Get going.
What? I
Go
got
on.
Heat versus what?
Go on.
All right, I got Heat versus Sixers. I think that the Heat are gonna make it. I love that squad. First seed, Jimmy Butler, Jimmy Buckets, Bam Adebayo, just absolute beast. Tyler Hero averaging 21 off the bench, 6th man of the year, no doubt.
They're
And then in
tough.
the West,
Oladipo just dropped 47 and 10.
Ooh, I didn't even know about that, but shout out
He's so
Oladipo.
tough.
So tough. I got Suns versus Grizzlies too.
Mhm.
Desmond Bain went from averaging 9 points a game to 18. That's huge. Just the whole team just reinvigorates the NBA. Ja Morant made the NBA fun again. He brought the Nike Tech back. That's my MVP, honestly. He created a fashion statement. Yes, I'm one of them.
I like it.
Steven Adams died the other day. Jackson Hayes absolutely eliminated his body. But
did.
you know,
Meaningless game.
Jackson Hayes.
and so
Man.
I think that's it, guys. So thanks for watching the 7 a.m. podcast. Stay tuned for next week. We'll be talking about NFL free agency and the start of this MLB baseball season.
Yep.
We'll update you with the 7 a.m. scab, 7 a.m. tournaments, and make sure to follow the Instagram for all your 7 a.m. updates. I'm Sean Vinjani here with Hayden Suslow and Joe Del Pero.
See you
Peace out.
guys.
Guys.